And one of his, if you will, people that were helping him or team members came to him and said, "Why do you ask our feedback or input if you did what you wanted to do anyway?" And he said, "I wanted your input, not your approval." You know, one thing I will say, though, about being a visionary is that Richard Branson says this: running a business is benevolent dictatorship. Benevolent dictatorship is that democracy, you cannot run a business on democracy. Democracy is the quickest way to mediocrity in a business. Democracy will ruin the business. That doesn't mean that anyone doesn't want to be heard. And there's a very famous story of who abolished slavery in America? The president? Lincoln, yeah? So Lincoln has a famous story, and he would often have a meeting. And you'd go around and he'd say, I want you guys' input. And a big decision. There was one specific big decision. And the table were all like, we think you should do this, we think you should do this, we think you should do this, we think you should do this. And Lincoln's decision was, his final decision he came to was the opposite to what the table wanted. And one of his, if you will, people that were helping him or team members came to him and said, "Why do you ask our feedback or input if you did what you wanted to do anyway?" And he said, "I wanted your input, not your approval. I wanted your input to make a better decision, not your approval. I needed to make, this is what I truly believe is the best decision. I wasn't looking for your approval, I was looking for your input." So that people need to be heard. People need to be heard, but sometimes you will, a leader lives and dies by the sword. Sometimes you're going to make a decision, and the most important thing is to make a decision. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake. The most important thing is to make a decision. Everyone say, make a decision. There's no such thing as a bad decision. Oh, my word, just make it quickly. The only bad decision you make is the one you're not making. Like, the quicker you can make the mistake, the learning happens from the mistake. The only reason that anyone's who's successful is they've just made more mistakes than most of you. That's the only reason. They've just made more mistakes. Not because they're successful, because they made more mistakes.